liftoff.
Hey, isn't we supposed to be having a fiesta?
Watch this.
Hey, isn't we supposed to be having a fiesta?
San Antonio Spurs Nation, go Spurs, go. Hope you're having a wonderful day wherever you are in the world. I hope that it's a sunny, beautiful day in your life. It's a great day for Spurs Nation. We have great young talent here that were playing in the G League. Yeah, we may have went 1-4 or whatever it was, but I mean, there was a lot of development, a lot of good things that were happening in the Las Vegas Summer League for the San Antonio Spurs. So, I pulled out some of my highlights, from some of the games that I like, some of the performances, some of the key things that I want to talk about. I pulled them out to go over with you guys here today, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to, dive into some film, right? We're going to dive into some of the highlights, some of the areas of improvement for each one of these players that are picks that are going to be contributing to the team next year. So that's going to be Devin Vassell. That's going to be Tre Jones. And that's going to be Joshua Primo. So we're going to look at a little bit of film on each one of these players. And that should be a lot of fun. So thank you guys for hanging out. First off, you're doing a great job right now. You're watching. You're supporting the show. Appreciate you guys. If you want to go above and beyond, go ahead and smash that like button down below. Chant Go Spurs Go when you do. Hit the notification bell so you get notified when we go live on this channel or when we drop new content. Comment, leave a comment, leave a comment in the post live or in the chat if you're here live, and share this video with the rest of the Spurs Nation. If you want to go a little bit more above and beyond, check out the Patreon link in the description below. Really go, it goes a long way to support this channel. So I really appreciate you guys hanging out first off, and just being part of Spurs Nation. Go Spurs Go on YouTube, man. So let's go ahead and get into it. All right, we're gonna talk about Devin Vassell first, right? So Devin Vassell only played in 2 games. He dealt with a few injuries along the way. Against Minnesota, that was really, the sample that I like to look at. That's the sample that we're going to be looking at here tonight. He played 29 minutes. He was 6 for 16, 37% from the field. He was 3 for 6, 50% from the 3-point line, 8 for 8 from the free throw line. And this game went down to the wire, right? He put up 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals, and 23 points in that matchup. He also got a little bit of tick against Chicago, but that's when he went down. So let's go ahead and kind of look into some of this game tape against Minnesota, and we're going to look specifically into the 4th quarter. Let's see. All right, guys. So also I got a couple new tools here that I'm going to be messing with on this film room. Okay. So there might be a couple technical difficulties along the way, but it should be a better show. So what we're going to do first off is we're going to look at some of the offensive plays from Devin Vassell. What we want to do first is keep an eye on him. He's over here in the corner, right? He's going to be the main piece of this play. He's going to be working a couple screen and rolls. It's going to be pretty nice. What I want you to pay attention first off is his first move and how he sets his defender up going baseline first before he receives the basketball. It's the little things that really separate good players and great players in the NBA. So we're seeing Devin Vassell here, right? The play is getting operated. He's about to receive this handoff. And like I said earlier, he's going to go ahead and set his guy up first with this one step. Now, that's the only separation that he's going to have on this play right here, but that's all you need, right? That's the NBA, so he works to get open here. Now, what I like is that how he comes off of this screen here and then sizes up his defender, sees that he went underneath the screen and isn't chasing over top. So that lets Devin Vassell go from, heading in one direction with this screen. He was supposed to come off this way off the handoff, right? But now he's going to wait, be a little bit patient, keep the defender coming back around the other way on the screen, and that's where he operates here. to get his shot off. Right? Sizes up the screen and roll right here, plays his defender, keeps him on a string, rises up, and knocks it down. Something that Devin Vassell's been showing a lot of in the Summer League is his ability to score off the dribble. And that's just one of the examples that we're going to go over, right? All right, so here we have Devin Vassell. Let's go ahead and highlight him here so we can keep an eye on what we're looking at here. We're going to see Devin Vassell here operate on the defensive end. Okay, so right here, he does a great job of avoiding a backdoor. We all know how great Devin Vassell is defensively, but it's his ability to recover and use his length, right, to really make himself versatile, right? So here we go. We got him. The guy he's guarding went backdoor on him here. Nice play. Steps up. Great mechanics. Gets a hand on the ball right here. Makes the pass. He deflects the pass. Is able to grab it and then take off in transition. Right now, Devin Vassell has got to thrive in these defensive turnovers that he can create and keep the ball. And he needs to stay in attack mode, right? So which he does a great job here. Pushes the floor and is able to get to go to the free throw line here on this one. Right? Gets the foul call. Right? So that's just a great defensive play that led up to a great offensive transition opportunity, right? So here we are in transition. Now, transition, guys, transition defense is probably number one on the priority list of San Antonio Spurs, right? Like for the Spurs, like if you're not busting your tail in transition, you're not going to see the floor. We see Devin Vassell over here, right? And now what I want to show you here is that, you know, the two-way ability here from Devin Vassell, right? So we're going to see him contest here, and then we're going to see him run back the other way on offense, right? So, all right, so excuse me for being a little slow with this new tool, guys. I want to, mess around with this a little bit. So contests that three-point shot, heads back in transition, is going to receive this pass here from Primo. Now, here we go again. Love the way that Devin Vassell was showing the ability to work around and work with the screener and is able to do this little give and go action, right? So right here, Devin Vassell is coming around here off this handoff, right? Now he's going to play around in here in the three-point line to get this shot off. So here he goes, sets his guy up. Every time Devin Vassell makes a move on the defender, he's going to set his guy up first, right? Create a little bit of separation, comes off the screen, and then knocks it down, right? Devin Vassell was just so comfortable in his pocket. These first two shots that we're looking at are just examples of Devin Vassell just feeling comfortable with the ball in his hands at the three-point line or off the dribble. All right, so here we go again. We're going to see Devin Vassell again in that same corner that we were talking about earlier. Devin Vassell likes to operate starting here because he's able to create some separation between him and his defender using his athleticism and moving off ball, right? So here we go again. Coming off this handoff right here is going to stop off the screen and roll. Give it up again. Come off this screen and rise up to knock it down. Very comfortable off these screen and roll actions, man. Letting it go. Let's rewind it back from the beginning. So we're putting Devin Vassell here in the corner spot and letting him go to work, right? So first off, comes off, receives this handoff, little give and go action, another fake on him, puts the ball here in front, sees the separation between him and his and the big man, right? Sees that he's not going to step up, rises up, and then just knocks it down. Great form here from Devin Vassell, man. The way he's able to rise up, go up, straight down. That was one of the better looking shots I've seen out of him. Great shot. All right, so here we go. We're going to see Devin Vassell work a little bit here on defense, cause a little havoc. What I like here about this play, the reason why I put this play in here, because Devin Vassell didn't settle. Devin Vassell did not settle on just following his guy. No, he wanted to make an impact on this play, right? So let's rewind it from the beginning. First off, he's getting after ball, right? Now this was McDaniels, right? This is a good player over here from Minnesota. Stays in front, gets after it, uses his length, gets a hand on the ball, right? Causes a deflection, stays with it. His player gets out of the way, but as soon as he sees this guy take off with the ball, I mean, Devin Vassell doesn't leave. He stays again to get after it and get after it. And the extra efforts, the extra hustle plays, they pay off and led to a turnover here. And that's pretty much all caused by Devin Vassell on this end. All right, so we looked at a lot of good things here from Devin Vassell defensively, but we can look at some of these areas that he needs to improve on too. An area that he needs to improve on is just size, right? He needs to be able to just he has the length and the athleticism and the height to be a versatile small forward and maybe even play some stretch power forward, right? But he's going to have to bang a little bit more. And on this play, we're going to see Devin Vassell get switched up here with the big man who was just in our business this whole game, man. So I forget his name, but I did a film room on him once upon a time. So anyways, Devin Vassell is going to get switched up and then he's going to have to battle, right? So let's go ahead and take a look. Play is going to start off this first initial down screen. I would like to see Devin Vassell stick with his guy right here, right? But I guess, good screen. Looks like this was towards the late in the fourth quarter. So I think the coach might have been saying, hey, we're going to switch all screens, right? So we switch. Now right here, we're going to see Devin Vassell have to battle on the block. And immediately he just kind of gives up position on this rebound. The big man does a good job of just pushing Devin Vassell out of the way, creating a little separation for himself on the backside, is able to snag this rebound. That was a huge rebound right there. I think it either tied it up or gave him a lead, with a minute or so left in the game, right? So that was a big opportunity, to kind of, if we can get that box out right there, man. It's the little things, I'm not here just to look at the jump shots and the offense and the crossovers, but we got to zoom in on the little things. And this is a film session right now. If I'm gonna be honest with you, and I'm going to approach this film session like if I were to do it with my own team, I'm rarely going over positives, right? I'm rarely going over positives. I mean, yes, I mentioned them here and there. That's a good job. That's a good job at this or that. But we hone in on the areas that we need to improve on in the film room session, right? And so right here, he shows just, a little area of development that he still needs to kind of work on. And all that just comes with time, getting that strength, putting on some weight to kind of bang around a little bit more. So stuff like this doesn't happen, especially late in the game, right? All right. So that's some of the key plays that I like from Devin Vassell in this matchup. This was all from the fourth quarter. He went on a nice 10-0 run by himself to bring the Spurs back against the Minnesota Timberwolves, right? So next guy we're going to look at in this film room session is Tre Jones, right? Tre Jones has been making headlines and highlight reels, and everyone's talking about him because he's one of the leading scorers in the summer league. And we saw it in the Gubble this year that Tre Jones is a underrated scorer. I mean, that was one of the huge surprises for me this season was the fact that Tre Jones can score the ball. I just thought he was going to be a solid backup point guard, kind of like Kojo, right? Kind of like Corey Joseph was, but Tre Jones is telling us that he has a lot more in his bag, right? So if we look at his stat sheets, he's averaging over 20 points a game, but he got the most run in the summer league, right? He got to play in 4 of the 5 games against Minnesota, Chicago, Charlotte, and Brooklyn. In each one of these games, he logged over 25 minutes, right? So 25 against Brooklyn, 26 against Minnesota. That was his first game back. Tre Jones did not play in the Utah Summer League, right? So that game against Minnesota, he played great. I mean, he had 16 points, 8 assists, right, in that Minnesota game, but he had a little bit of rust on him, you can tell, but it shook off by the fourth quarter in that game. It was a great game. Against Chicago, he finished with 23 points, 3 assists, 4 rebounds. He was 9 for 19 from the field, right? Okay, and then he followed that up with a 12 for 20 from the field, shot 60% against Charlotte. That was a huge game against Charlotte. We know about that one, and that's actually the game that we're going to kind of key in on the film room here is we're going to look at Tre Jones' fourth quarter against Charlotte where he hit that game-winning bucket. We're going to look at some of the areas that he highlighted his abilities and his skills, But like I said, this is a film room session, and we're going to look into some areas that if I was the coach, I'd be pointing these out in the film room session. Where Tre Jones needs to kind of step it up a little bit here and there, right? But that's fine. Everyone does. I'm not dogging anyone. It's just, hey, we got to look at the whole picture here. Against Charlotte, he finished with 34 points, 9 assists, 8 rebounds, 7 turnovers though. 7 turnovers from him in that game. But he was a high volume player in this game, so it kind of goes with the territory. And then he finished up against Brooklyn, 18 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds in 25 minutes, right? So did not play in that final game against the OKC Thunder, right? So let's go ahead and take a look into the film on Tre Jones against Charlotte. Thank you guys for hanging out with me on this Tuesday evening. It's the first Tuesday show. The new shows are going to be on Tuesday and Thursday nights, guys, at 8:30. So in case you didn't know, now you know. Okay. Going to hit up the chat room right here for a second. What's up, Sean Kelly? Thank you for the tip, my man. Appreciate you hanging out. Guys, again, I do a Q&A. I'm going to try to do a Q&A on Sunday, so make sure you tune in on Sunday to chat with me, and I'll put your questions and stuff on screen, and we can talk Spurs. All right, so tune in on Sunday. Thank you guys for subscribing, liking this video, and leaving a comment. All right, go Spurs, go. All right, so let's take a look at the film here. We're going to go ahead and look at Tre Jones. All right, so we're going to look at, like I said, into this game against Charlotte. All right, so we'll start off with some positives, right? Tre Jones was showing a lot of improvements in a lot of areas in his game. Now, one of the main improvements that him and Devin Vassell, I think those of you guys that follow these guys on social media are seeing that Tre Jones and Devin Vassell are spending a lot of time together, working in the gym together. Every time Devin Vassell posts, something on Instagram of them working in the gym, Tre Jones is always there. And you can see him kind of work over these screens, kind of the way that same way that Devin Vassell did, right? So this is David Robinson's son, by the way. He's going to go ahead and set this screen right here. Tre Jones is going to come around and be patient. What I like about Tre Jones is that he doesn't just put his head down, and if nothing's there, he just kicks out, right? I like that he's a little bit more heady. So when he comes off the screen, he can come off of it and let the defense react, and then he'll secondary react off of what the defense does to find an opportunity, right? So he creeps his way down here for a nice jump shot in this play here. So let's go back to it here. He's going to go ahead and catch this ball, square up, give a nice little jab step, use this great screen here. Now, this is what I'm talking about right here. Look at his eyes. Look at Tre Jones right now. If we look at him right here, you would think that he's just automatically, going to kick out to this shooter right here because the defense helped and he has wide open shooter right here in the wing, right? But Tre Jones has a score mentality, I'm telling you. So he keeps his eye on the lane in which he's trying to go to, and he's going to be a little bit patient here and see what opens up. And as soon as the defender shows help and then goes back to the shooter, right? Number 19 here, who actually is a pretty good player. Impressed me a little bit in this game. Tre Jones doesn't just pass the ball, keeps his head down, keeps the attack alive, gets to his spot. And now 31 is huge, man. This guy was in Tre Jones's stuff. We're going to look at it a little bit later. He was, giving Tre Jones a lot of issues here on defensive end, but Tre Jones stops on a dime, creates a little bit of separation here, and is able just to rise up. Now, this mid-range jumper is what I'm talking about. There's a lot of improvement on this jump shot. I mean, just look at the mechanics, first of all, the balance. He's coming to a stop right here, goes straight up, straight down. Now, what I mean by straight up, straight down is that when they take off, guys, they go straight up and straight down. When you see players fade forward, or if they're fading forward or if they're fading backwards on their jump shot, that's going to affect it in some way. Usually it's going to end up in a brick. But I think what a lot of these young guys are showing is a lot of poise and a lot of patience on their control, on their stop. Devin Vassell did a lot in those shots that we looked at earlier in this film room, and Tre Jones is working on that as well, and a lot of balance. Hey, and I don't know if that's from Chip England or not. I mean, Chip's was over there in Tokyo. So these guys are just putting in the work. I think it's what it is. Rises up, butter, right? Nothing but the bottom of the net. That's a tough shot. All right. So here's a play from Tre Jones that shows off the true point guard skills that he has, right? Tre Jones right here, right? Now look at all this right here. Here's 4 Charlotte Hornets, right? So let's let this play go ahead and develop. As he gets this ball, first off, you can tell right here, if you look at Tre Jones, he's already looking down the floor, right? He's not looking at this defender or he's not looking at this guy. His eyes are doing what point guards are supposed to do, right? I mean, keep the pace fast, right? Keep pushing the ball, right? So he's going to go ahead and look down the floor, kind of bypass all these initial guys right here. He's going to go ahead and take off, sprint. I mean, he's fast, man. He's going to use that speed to his advantage. He's just going to go ahead and blow by one defender. Oh, snap. No one's going to pick him up. No one's going to pick him up. Right now, he gets right here to this spot. Now, if you ever played basketball, I'm pretty sure that you did plenty of drills where you would dribble up in the court and you would stop right here and you would have to make a decision, right? Either shoot the ball, pass the ball, keep going to the lane, put a move on your defender, right? Well, as this play develops, you can see Tre Jones surrounded by 5 Hornets, right? Now, that's just great point guard instincts, man. A point guard's got to be able to control the game, right? And Tre Jones is showing the ability to do that, right? Do that pretty well. So he pushes the pace. Joe Wieskamp. Joe Wieskamp makes a great decision here. Now, if he would have just stayed at the 3-point line, I wouldn't have been mad at that either because it's, the modern NBA. But this is old school right here, man. He takes off. He cuts back door, says, I got a wide open layup. So he goes up, puts the up and under on the rim, and gives Tre Jones the assist. That's a great pass, a great play from a point guard to just push the pace, man. Just push the ball, right? All right. So let's go ahead and take a look. Which play is this? All right. So this is going to be, let's take a look here. This is the game-winning play, right? This is the game-winning drive from Tre Jones, right? The infamous game-winning drive. So where's Tre right now? Let's see. They're going to set this play up. Oh, okay. This is a nice play. Let's go ahead and break it down a little bit. Tre Jones is right here. He's standing in front of number 31, right? Now, first thing to go down on this play is that Joe Wieskamp was standing behind Tre Jones. He's going to come all the way around this screen, and that's going to allow Tre Jones to pop out to try to receive this ball, right? So a little tough defense here from Charlotte. Oh, okay. So they put a little wrinkle on this play. I like it. The 4-man is peeling around back to the outside, right? Maybe looking for that alley-oop off the inbounds, right? See if that's open. But Tre Jones, the play was for him. Can't get the ball in right here. Ball gets reversed out, kicked out to him. All right. So that's a great job from the Spurs, not turning it over or taking a bad shot when the play doesn't work, right? Because there's plenty of times when you're a coach and you're calling this play and then, the defense does a great job and kind of shuts it down. And what do your players do? Do they panic? Do they turn it over? What happens? Do they take a terrible shot? Well, the Spurs did a good job of managing the clock here and getting the ball to Tre Jones. Now Tre Jones gets to operate on this high pick and roll, right? So he's going to go ahead and create the switch here with Tre Jones. Now this is very interesting. Tre Jones, a lot of Spurs favorites here. They wanted him in a Spurs jersey this year, but Joshua Primo is the real deal, right? So we made the right choice there. But nothing against Tre Jones, man. Had a great game in here. Tre Jones shows the fearlessness, in this little guy right here. He's gonna go ahead and take this guy who's like double his size, sees the mismatch, waits for the right time, goes ahead and puts one crossover on him, puts his head down, and goes all the way to the rim. Able to get close to the body on Tre Jones, make it very difficult for him to block this shot. Nice little hang time, gets a good look at the rim. If you can see him right here, gets it off. Nice little kiss off the glass right here. and it goes down, right? Great shot here from Tre Jones. That was for the game. I don't know if you guys saw the social media post, but there was a timeout right before this play, right? There was a timeout. Devin Vassell, great teammate that he is, pulled Tre Jones aside and said, "Yo, like, you're gonna take this shot, and I want you to be aggressive." And Tre Jones like, "Yeah, I got you." And he tells Tre Jones to show him that you're that guy, right? I think that's pretty much what Devin Vassell told him. Show him that you're that dude, right? And Tre Jones delivered, man. So that was pretty cool. I don't know if you guys saw that post. I think it was on the Spurs Twitter. So great take here from Tre Jones. Okay. Here's another shot of him. Footage is a little glitchy, but that's okay. Taking the big man off the dribble. That's Kai Jones again. This was earlier in the game. Comes to a nice balanced jump stop, right? Look at that. Straight up, straight down. What was I telling you earlier? When these guys get their shot off like that, it's gonna go in, man. It's butter, right? That's just a great job of him forcing the issue on this high pick and roll. You can see it right here. It's a little glitchy, but he's gonna attack the pick and roll, right? All the way to his sweet spot, and he's gonna knock it down. All right, a little bit of glitchy footage. That's all right. So here's another play where Tre Jones is just gonna go ahead and push the ball and find the wide open man running. A little glitchy. I'm gonna go ahead and keep it moving. But nice lead pass, right? Right off the inbound, right? So that was off of a made basket. Joe Weiskamp's going to inbound the ball to Tre Jones. He's going to take, I don't even know if he takes one dribble or not. Go ahead and looks up the floor. And he's able to put the ball on the money to Daquan Jeffries, man. Daquan Jeffries, I hope he gets a roster spot somewhere, man. He played amazing for the Spurs this summer in Vegas, man. If there was like a way we can, keep him on a two-way or something like that, that would have been great, but it's just not going to happen. I think we signed Joe Weiskamp to a two-way today, right? So probably not, but Daquan Jeffries, I think, made a name for himself here playing with the Spurs. So shout out to Daquan Jeffries. All right. Let's go ahead and keep it moving here. We're going to see Tre Jones operate off this screen, right? He's going to come again to his spot. Now, again, this is not something that we see often, right? This isn't a quality that we see out of especially second rounders, man, right? Where they're able to just kind of be patient with the ball in their hands. But number 31 gets all up in his business, right? This is one instance where Tre Jones, could have made a better decision, put the ball on the floor one or too many times, loses his balance, ends up turning it over, right? There's a little area of improvement, right? All right, so here's another area of improvement from Tre Jones. Now, this was, I think, in the third quarter. And like I said, he had a high volume, a high usage game. So I don't know, maybe it was a little bit of fatigue for Tre, but this is James Bouknight, right? In the draft, went this year went a few picks before Primo did in the draft. Tre Jones needs to fight just a little bit harder to get back in front over these double screens. Nice help here from Robinson, but a little too late, ends up giving up the bucket, right? So just a little bit more effort there, but like I said, could have been from fatigue. Here's another instance where I just think, man, maybe he was just a little too tired at this point in the game, because right here, he's guarding ball, right? Now they're going to go ahead and set this screen and create the switch. Now, if you're going to create the switch, the reason why I'm going to be hard right now on Tre Jones is because I've seen him do this. Like, I've seen him actually like be physical with bigger guys and actually stop bigger guys in their tracks, right? But this just wasn't one of those games, I don't think, for Tre Jones. So as he stays in help here and shot goes up, I mean, if you get switched up on a big man, what do you think big men do? Big men like to go crash the glass. I mean, like, as a guard, he knows this, but like, again, I don't know, maybe it was just a little fatigue, but that's what happens when you start watching ball. When you start watching ball, guys start attacking the rim. Now, he's not the only one. Weiskamp is over here watching ball when the shot goes up. Number 23, I think that's Newman, right? Over here, watches the ball as the shot goes up. So Kai Jones is on his way to the rim. Number 31 is on his way to the rim, try to go crash the glass. And Kai Jones just rises up and puts this massive putback, and that's just, a body. When that shot goes up, if we start looking for our guy to try to put a body on him first, before we start looking at the ball. Don't worry about the ball. Like in practice, when you're coaching your squad, you do a lot of like 4-on-4 shell, right? Where you're simulating a lot of stuff, shots going up, and you're working on your rebound and your team rebound and you're boxing out. When this ball goes up, first thing that's got to happen is everyone's got to communicate and let each other know that the shot went up. And as soon as you hear shot, like with my squad, we call it shot, right? So as soon as the ball goes up, someone shoots it, everyone yells shot, right? So everyone's like, oh, snap, because, you might be over here guarding this guy. You don't know what's going on. And you hear shot. So when you hear shot, your automatic reaction shouldn't be like, oh, what? A shot? Where? Let me see if I can get this rebound. It should be like, oh, snap, who's around me? Let me go find a body to box out, right? Keep everybody off the glass, and then someone will come up with that rebound for sure. So we get away from it there. Just a little couple areas of improvement, right? So let's go ahead and take a look at Joshua Primo now. Thank you guys for hanging out. Please smash that like button down below. Chant "Go Spurs Go" when you do. Joshua Primo, man, he's just been sneakily just showing us something amazing every game, but he also shows us that, there's still some improvement there. So like we did with the other two guys, we're going to look at some of his highlights, some of the areas that I thought stood out. And then we're going to look at some of the areas also that stood out in the way that he needs to just improve on, which is fine, man. All these guys are young and they're going to have areas to improve on. What's great is just that they're getting all this run. What's great is that, Tre Jones had 4 games to play 20 some minutes a game, and Vassell had a couple games, and Joshua Primo had a couple games, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to look. I think last time I did a film room on here, it was against that Minnesota. No, it was against Utah. It was the Utah Summer League. So today we're going to look at some of his performance highs and lows from the Brooklyn matchup, where he put in 22 minutes, went 8 for 22 from the field. That's kind of why I wanted to pick on this game a little bit, was because he had a huge impact on this game. He was just a high volume dude in this Brooklyn game. Now against Minnesota, that first game, he had 8 points, 2 assists, 2 steals, 2 rebounds. He was 2 for 5 from the 3, 40%. He was 3 for 11 from the field, right? So went from 27% to 36% in the next game, right? Also shot 11 threes. He shot 11 threes against Brooklyn. Now that was pretty, I was watching the game and I was going over the film and I was just like, wow, you can't even tell that he took 11 threes, because like 4 or 5 of them were just nice, spacing the floor, spot up shots. A couple of them were kind of quick pulls. And then he hit a couple of dirty ones too, right? So yeah, he put up 11 threes, 27%. Yeah, we want it to be a lot higher than that. We want this number to be, maybe 6 for 11 or 5 for 11, right? But still, just the fact that he put the shots up, that's a good sign. That's a good sign. That means he's looking to score, right? He put up 22 shots from the field. 22 shots on the field, 11 threes. The guy had the green light in this game. There was no one that was going to tell him to pass the ball. You know what I'm saying? So he went 2 for 3 from the free throw line, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 0 turnovers in this game. That's a big deal for Primo. He had 4 against Minnesota. He had a few in the Utah Summer League as well. So he actually put together a pretty solid stat line: 21 points, 3 assists, 0 turnovers, man, 5 rebounds. All right. So let's go ahead and dive into the film. Thank you guys for hanging out. Go Spurs Go. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. All right. Let me know if you like that new drawing tool that I have, that I'm using on this episode. I'll get better at using it here and there, where I can put the spotlight on and whatnot. All right. Okay, here we go. So we're going to start off here. Now, something that not Devin Vassell, Joshua Primo, man, he's showing him that he has a lot in his bag. And right here, I like the fact that he's catching this ball in motion, right? Came from the corner, sees the drive happen. So he comes up to maybe receive this handoff and just keep moving, right? That's just a good habit that he has already at 18 years old, is moving without the ball. Comes off this screen, now gets right here to his spot. He missed one of these earlier in the game, but he knocks this one down. Now it's this little free throw line one-handed floater. Man, now that's vintage right there, right? So that's a vintage look from Joshua Primo. Knocks it down smooth. Look at him backpedal too to get back on defense, right? All right, so here's Joshua Primo off the rebound. Now, what we saw in this previous play was Joshua Primo playing off ball, right? If we want to run a play for Joshua Primo to score, we can. He has the ability to catch the ball and go to work, utilize a pick and roll, find his open space somewhere. Right here, sees that there's no one guarding him. He has number 8 behind him, right? So I know I'm kind of going back to this play, but we're going to kind of tie it in with the next play as well. So he comes off the screen looking to score, sees that he has separation between the big man and himself. The Spurs have been, I don't know if that's something every single Spurs working on right now, but I think it is. I think if I were to put money down on it, the coaches are telling him, look, we're going to run all these drills, all these pick and roll drills where the big man sags off, because that's what the NBA is doing now, right? Like all the NBA, like we saw it in the finals, we saw it in the playoffs. The big man sinks all the way down to protect the rim. And if you can hit this shot right here, it's going to be open. It's going to be open. So if you can get it off, get it off. That's going to be a high percentage shot in the NBA, I think in the next few years. We saw that the mid-range kind of came back this playoffs. It's not all about the three anymore. But here we go. We have Joshua Primo pushing the ball in transition. Now, this is where I really like Joshua Primo in transition, right? I still think he has a little bit to work on it, finishing, flying up and down the court and finishing at the rim. But when he just kind of surveys the floor, under control, doesn't hand it off here. Like he's not just looking to get rid of the ball. That's what I love about Primo too. Like he's patient. He gets the ball. He's not just like, oh, here you go. No, he keeps it. He's like, that's not a good look. He's smart. He has an IQ, right? He's like, no, that's not a good look. So as that happens, number 24 on your screen here is going to sink. Oops. I don't know what happened there. Let's see. All right. So what is up with that spotlight now? It used to be a spotlight. Now it's a red dot. Okay, I don't know. All right. So we're going to see the big man right here sag off, right? And Joshua Primo automatically sees his fellow draftee Joe Wieskamp wide open, who does a good job of turning, facing, and squaring up. What did I say on the last episode with these two guys? That Joe needs to shoot the ball, man. When Joe can catch the ball, square up, eyes on the rim, he's not even worried about the defender right here. That's a great job. Squares up, straight down, nice shot. That's where he's going to be effective. But, I don't think we're going to see much of Joe Wieskamp this season in a Spurs jersey. It's just not going to happen. We have too many guys. He's going to be in Austin most of the time unless injury and stuff like that happens. But, going back to Joshua Primo, it's just a smart decision. It's just a good decision. He's where were you at 18? This guy's right now at 18 playing against this high-level competition. Doesn't panic right here on that handoff. It's kind of too crowded right here. That could have easily been something bad. It could have turned into a turnover. It could have been a miscommunication on this handoff. They could have bobbled it. A lot of bad things could have happened. But he keeps it. He squares up, and he's like, okay, surveying the floor, sees what's available, and then finds them, and then gets rewarded with the assist. It's just a good play, right? Now here he is again, kind of being a little bit smart. First off, this was a bad decision. First off, you don't ever want to crowd the corner. Man, I wish I had this spotlight back. I have to figure out what I did with this spotlight. Did I mess it up somehow? Maybe. All right. So anyways, first off, Joshua Primo coming up to the corner is not something you want to do. You never want to congest, if you will, this area of the floor ever. Like, if you're bringing up the ball, number 23 needs to kind of do a better job of coming and utilizing all this open space. That's what my coach would have told me. I was a point guard, man. I was a point guard, and I plenty of times dribbled all the way right here and got into a lot of trouble because the defense is ready to come and trap and use the sideline and the half court line to trap you in, right? So my coach would have been like, you see all this? He would have been all up on my case, man. That's what I'm telling you. That's a real film session, man. Real film session you're getting ripped on. by the coaches. So Joshua Primo makes kind of a decision by coming up the sideline, but then immediately understands that, hey, this is a bad look. Let me turn around and let me go back the other way, right? So puts the brake on. Luckily, we're not turning it over here, right? Because that's like a trap at midcourt. If they get this trap, they're going the other way and they're scoring the basketball. So what I like here is the decision that Primo makes off this catch, right? So this is a tough spot to be in. You know, he's catching this ball, moving in this direction, and this defender's about to come and step up as soon as he lands, right? So it takes a lot of poise to be able to catch the ball, make a solid dump off pass to the big man, right? So this could have been, shacked in the floor right here. Just a lot of things could have went bad, right, in this play. But he's able to catch the ball and be poised enough just to make a nice and easy dump off pass. It's not a bullet pass. And it's going to lead to a basket here by Robinson. He's going to get his own tip and put it in, right? So that could have been ugly, but shows a little bit of his IQ and his, awareness right now. So here we go. We're going to see Joshua Primo come off, work off the wing here and work to get open, right? So now that he's open, he's going to utilize this screen and roll, attack the big again. We're talking about getting better attacking this pick and roll. And I think that's going to be something that we're going to see improvement on, not just from our young guys, but across the board, right? So this guy, Joshua Primo, comes off this screen to just attack, right? Puts one step on him, sees that he's going to have enough separation, straight up, straight down, nice turn, nice motion, nice touch, man. Guys, who does this look like right there? That looks a lot like Kobe Bryant to me, right? I mean, I'm not saying that he's gonna be Kobe, R.I.P. Kobe Bryant, one of the GOATs. But I see a lot of Kobe and Joshua Primo's offensive skill set. I do, and not just with the ball in his hands, but like his demeanor and the way he moves on the court. It's just, I think we got something with this kid, guys. I think he might, the way he's performing now, the way he's able to hit shots like this. You know what I mean? Like that's a professional NBA move. Coming off the screen and roll, one dribble, crosses the dribble, right? Puts it in his left hand to his right hand, puts a little stutter step on him with his feet, gets his step back on the catch right to his spot, right? We've seen him hit a lot of these free throw line jumpers, so he knows that that's one of his green light spots. And lets it go. I mean, guys, this kid is 18 years old. An 18-year-old would have came off this screen and just, looked to pass to one of these guys and probably turned it over, or maybe just put his head down and try to take this guy to the rim and get blocked or something. Primo hit him with the crossover step back mid-range jump shot and hit nothing but the freaking bottom of the net. Are you kidding me? Guys, the touch on his shot is so impressive. Right. And this shot, in this play right here, we're going to see Tre Jones find Primo spacing the floor. So if we see him here on the top of our floor, man, can I fix this spotlight? Let me see. I have no idea what I did to that spotlight. I hate that it's not a spotlight anymore. It's a red light. Okay. Anyways, we're going to see him over here in the corner. Now, simple, but it takes a lot of practice and a lot of repetition to get these guys to be in the right spot. You got Joe Weiskamp over here in the corner. That's good spacing. You have Primo over here in the corner who's about to be a beneficiary of good spacing, right? So we're going to go ahead and make this pass right here. Bullet pass to the corner. Hands ready. Now, this is what he did in Alabama a lot, right? So Joshua Primo didn't do a lot of this wow stuff that we're seeing in Alabama, but this is what he did in Alabama. Catch passes like this, turn, look, knock it down, right? Like I said, he took 11 threes. He didn't hit many of them, but that was one of the ones that he hit. And that's wide open, right? So we can see it's a great find. First off, it's a great find by Tre Jones, right? Makes this bullet pass from the top of the key. That's a tough pass. That's a hard pass. On point too. Hits Primo right in the numbers, right where his hands are. Great pass, great form, no hesitation, lets it fly. All right, so here's one instance of Primo, maybe needing a little bit of seasoning here on his defensive tendencies here. He's going to be guarding the guy that's kind of hanging out over here, right? This guy's going to come set a screen on Primo. Now, the ball is so far out that there's no real reason for Joshua Primo to be guarding this far away from the basket, right? So unless the guy he's guarding is Trae Young or Steph Curry or Luka Doncic, you're not guarding that high up off the floor. And so it's because stuff like this can happen to you. They set this back screen on him way up here, giving his guy a wide open lane to the basket. Now, I think this is Renfro. This player right here is Renfro. He does a good job of picking up the ball, but another area on this same play that I would, talk to Primo about would be, look, if you're going to get caught up on this screen way up here and you're going to make the big man pick up your guy and switch, your initial reaction should be not to go and try to get back to your guy, right? Right now, Primo should not be looking for this guy right here. He should be looking to beat this guy to a spot, the big man's guy, right? Because they just switched, right? So what does switch mean? Go guard the other guy. So if Primo were to have that awareness, get a better box out here, instead gets thrown out of the way and gives up a wide open basket. Now look at Renfro right here talk to Primo, man. Primo knows what's up, right? He's telling him, yo, they call timeout, right? Spurs call timeout, and I'm pretty sure that they're about to talk about that switch in the huddle, right? But look at Renfro. He's gonna go up to Primo right here. I like this. I had to pause it and look at it again because this is good team. This is good teamwork. This is good communication. These guys aren't out here acting a fool and blaming each other and saying like, "Hey, man, I switched. You were supposed to switch. You got to box out my guy. If I'm going to guard your guy all the way to the rim, you got to fight a little bit harder, right?" We're not getting after each other, and that's something that the Spurs do. They bring in character guys. Now, we always talk about character, and it's not just wearing a suit and tie or wearing, being real like, just well spoken. No, it's being a good teammate, man. And like these guys dab it up. They get close to each other. They're going to talk about it. He's probably telling Primo right now, like, yo, cover my guy on the switch. I got you. If you get caught up, I got you, but you have to come get my guy. So a little lesson learned there for Joshua Primo from his teammate Renfro, right? So great stuff. Great character guys, great quality guys. Teaching these young bucks, right? Oh, no, this is a great play. This is a great play. Let's take it back to the beginning. Okay. So, oh man, why did this spotlight have to go and desert me? Let me see. Maybe if I quit it, if I bring it back. Let me see. No, it's still red. Oh, all right. Anyways, so we're going to see Joshua Primo start right here. Here he is. Okay. Here's Primo. Right. He's going to come up and set this back screen, right? This whole play is run for him. So let's track him from the get-go. He's going to come set this back screen first, right? For the big guy. And then he's going to set a screen and then he's going to come around and receive the ball, right? So he sets this back screen, right? Makes his defender here have to communicate on that switch. So now that the Brooklyn dudes are now switched and there's a mismatch somewhere, Primo comes around and receives this handoff and has all this separation because of that first screen that he set, right? So if you're a coach out there and you want to run some plays, I suggest run a play like this where you get one of your best scorers to set a screen and then pop out, to go receive the ball. So he comes around this one, puts the ball in the hole. This was right out of the gate in the second half, right? In the beginning of the third quarter. Puts the ball on the floor and finishes this play off, man, pretty spectacularly with this one-handed, keeps to the defender away from him. Soft touch. If you can see his wrist, just a nice little like, here you go, finger roll. Just tosses that thing, just lets it fly out of his hand, man. Doesn't even really push it up. He just lets it fly out of his hand, puts a nice arc on the ball, right? Puts a nice little spin on it. Doesn't throw it up. He tosses it up. His arc, man, his shot is so ahead of his time. He lets that thing go straight up so it can come and go back down in the hoop, right? He didn't throw it at the rim, right? That's where a lot of players that's what a lot of players do and they miss and stuff like that, or they throw it too hard off the glass. He tosses that thing up, which is just so hard to do, man. It's another one of those plays where it's just like, holy cow, that is impressive because that is unbelievably hard, right? Starts off in the corner. Let's rewind it. Sets this screen. Boom. Causes the switch. Takes off. Does a great job right here getting open too. Sets the screen. Doesn't just leave. Look, this little moment right here where he's standing straight up, that's a little hesitation. He's waiting for his defender to get to him. He's like, okay, I got him. But as soon as his defender's like, oh, this is who I got now, takes off, right? Catches him slipping. Receives this handoff. Nice, good screen here off the handoff. And puts the ball on the deck, sees all the open space in front of him, and goes to work. And what a nice touch. Oof, again, nothing but the bottom of the net. What a great finish here by Joshua Primo. So, just a lot of wow, man. This guy's showing us a lot of wow. Here's an area of improvement, just some off-ball defense, right? Never losing track of your guy. Here you see Joshua Primo, and he's looking at the ball right now. And as soon as his defender sees that, he takes off, catches him slipping just a little bit. Now gives up position, right? So now he's playing from behind. You don't ever really want to be in that spot. Shot goes up. Doesn't really battle for position to get back in front there either. Gets bullied a little bit and gives up the offensive rebound. But what I like here is that he doesn't give up. He keeps fighting. Now, that's something that we, meaning all the Spurs players, we all got to have that fight in us, man. Every one of those guys has to have that dog and that fight and those second, third efforts, right? So he knows he messed up. He knows he gave up a backdoor, which led to an offensive rebound, but stays with it. Gets a block right here. Nice touch on the ball. Fights for it here. Now that big guy here was giving us the business. I think he had double-digit rebounds that night, right? So tries to battle with it. Ends up not being able to come up with it. Not yet, right? Ends up being an and one, actually, right? Ball goes through the hole, foul called. If we were to just keep track of our guy, not let him cross your body. Now, what should you do there? So it's like, okay, well, what should have Joshua Primo done? If you're saying that that's what caused all this. Well, when you play basketball at a high level, you don't just let people move around the floor wherever they want, right? So as soon as this cutter starts to go, Joshua Primo needs to stop him, needs to bump him, get a little physical, give him a bump, knock him off his path, get in front of him. Don't let him go to where he wants to go. So that's the attitude you got to have, right? So, as he cuts, you don't let him cut back door. You body him up. You keep him out. You keep him out of the paint. So, but it's just that happens in a blink of an eye, right? So it's just about getting better positioning on your defense, right? So if I'm telling Joshua Primo here, what should you have done? Well, Joshua Primo should have, instead of being so high up, because let me tell you, this is how you teach defense, guys, right? This is how you teach defense, off ball defense. So here's Primo, right? He needs to be deep enough to look straight. Like if he was looking straight ahead, you got to be able to see through your peripherals. You got to be able to see the ball and you got to be able to see your guy, right? Okay, so right now, Joshua Primo is so high right here at this spot that he doesn't have a good vantage point to see both the ball and his guy. So what should he have done? What do you teach him to do? Well, this is what I teach my guys, right? When the ball gets put on the floor, as deep as this ball goes, Joshua Primo needs to be sinking in help as well. Because right now, at this point that he's at, he can't see ball and man. But if he was sinking and he was about right here, he would have a better vantage point to see both ball. And if this pass got made out, he'd be able to react. Or if he's going to cut back door, Joshua Primo's in this spot right here, so he's going to be able to see him cut backdoor and not just let him cut right in front of his face, right? So the answer to solving something like this is just positioning off ball, right? So instead of being here, you sink as deep as the ball, and you have to like backstep. You have to backstep because you got to see both. You got to see both ball and man, right? So if you're so close to him up here, so high, you can't see that much. But if you sink, you can see a whole lot more. And it's just it's a small thing, but it's what makes a defense solid, and it keeps people out of the paint, and everyone's on the same page and doesn't lead into any dumb baskets that you shouldn't have gave up, right? Sometimes every basket counts. When you're in close games, you're like, dang, could I just got that offensive rebound back, right? All right, so let's keep it going. All right, so here we see Joshua Primo off a high screen and roll, right? Is going to recognize again the space that we were talking about earlier. Something that I hope that transfers over, to the NBA as soon as Joshua Primo gets there, is recognizing that the big man, when he's sinking so far away from Joshua Primo, he really only doesn't need to, work too hard. Just get to your spot, rise up, straight down, and knock it down, man. He was butter. Guys, to do that at 18, at that clip, it's impressive, man. Now here he is with the ball in his hand. He's going to get a little bit of pressure here from the defense. What I like, it shows a little bit of his ball handling skills. He says that he was a point guard in high school. I don't know, but I mean, I'm pretty sure he was. He was a point guard in high school, and then when he went to go play in Alabama, he found a different role, spacing the floor, right? But here's a nice little between the legs, little bounce off here to create a little separation, puts the ball in his left hand. He also said he's ambidextrous, I think, right? So he can use both his left and his right hand. He's always doing this little left-hand flick pass. I don't really like it. I know some of you guys in the chat were telling me like, well, he got the pass off, or how would he have made a better pass? And I can go into that a lot, but that's a risky pass, in the NBA. But here's another good ball handling scene right here. Comes to a nice dime, stop on a dime between the legs. Kind of loses his handle here for a second, but doesn't turn it over. Sees that the double screen is here waiting for him. He's like, all right, I'll use it. Comes off one, comes off two, creates the switch. He loves the switch, man. I mean, if defenses in the NBA are going to be switching, like everything, we need guards who can make them pay, right? And right here, oh my gosh, check this shot out. Sounded like I cussed, right? Check this shot out. He comes, attacks the lane, comes to a nice stop here, kind of loses the ball. Look at him, almost falling down off one leg, fading backwards. Look at that. I was just telling you guys earlier, don't do that. Go straight up, straight down, right? That's what I was saying. When you go forward, you're probably going to miss. When you go backwards, you're probably going to miss. But man, Joshua Primo shows up, tells me to, coach, you need to watch your mouth, coach, because I got this. Let me fade back, pretty much laying down in midair, puts the nice touch on it. Again, his shot always has the perfect arc. He's never shooting at the rim, right? So like, let me rewind this. This is amazing. This is a tough shot, man. So again, he's not shooting at the rim where, that lowers your chances of putting it in the hole. When he fades back, he puts a nice little touch on it, man, like a real late high release with his fingers. And that ball just has a beautiful arc on it, man. And that's why all of his shots that are so impressive are just hitting the bottom of the net. And like, it's not even coming close. Like that ball goes in the hole, man. So, amazing strength, agility, balance, touch, everything. Just ball just goes in, man. That is one of the hardest shots, man, you can ask for. Look at this coach right here on the bench, man. He's like, dang, man, what else can we do? All these coaches are like, what? Look at this guy right here. He's like, I can't believe it, man. Even their coaching staff over here. was like, oh my God. Yeah, because Joshua Primo brings the amazing. He brings the wow. All right. All right. So here he is again in the corner, catching and shooting. This shot kind of gets away from him. Good contest here by the defender, but he stays in it. Look at him right now. As soon as that shot goes off, he knows that it's off. He doesn't just sit there and watch the ball. He starts going after it, gets back into play, and is able to get his own rebound, right? Comes out, doesn't look to pass it, man. And guys, we have an 18-year-old kid who knows he's that good. And, the coaches, I think, are giving him all the confidence in the world to be a scorer right now, man. And they're telling him, like, yo, you got the green light. Don't pass the ball. Don't pass the ball. Right? Like, so he comes, scores mentality, puts the move back on him, steps back, says, okay, I'll use this right here. Gets his nice screen and roll, sets up his defender with one move. Notices the ball pressure, right? Whenever you're being ball pressured up here, high up on the court, it's very smart for you to get one move off to set your guy up, because he's gonna bite, right? He's gonna bite for whatever you get him. When that guy's all up on there and he's like D'ing you up at half court, just give him a jab step, give him one move, one in and out, and you're gonna create some separation, right? So he gets him right here on that move, uses this screen, sees the defense. Sees the defense just sagging, saying, I'm not going to come up there, and pulls it right in his grill. Right in his grill. Might have even been an N1. Cash money. Right? That's an impressive shot, man. So let's look at it. Let's catch the ball, man. Let's see at his release point. Here's the release point. Let's watch that ball in slow motion. Perfect arc on it. That's a sniper right there, guys. That's a sniper. All right. So those were some of my highlights from Summer League in Las Vegas from our young guys, right? Our rookie Joshua Primo and our second-year players in Devin Vassell and Tre Jones. Man, that was a lot of fun. So I hope you guys enjoyed this stream, man. Hopefully we'll be doing some more along the way. Hope everyone in the chat room is doing good. Everybody in the chat, or if you're watching post live, go Spurs go. One. Tune in Sunday. We're gonna do a Q&A around 3 or 4 o'clock. So I'll take your questions, take your comments. Appreciate the tips and the Patreon love. Thank you guys. We're growing over here in a rapid pace, right? Picked up almost 400 subscribers in the past month. Amazing. Just amazing. So thank you guys. Shout out to Spurs Nation, man. Shout out to Spurs Nation. All right, guys. So, ultimately, I'm going to do a little recap here before I close it out, on just kind of my overall takes from the Summer League. You know what? This Summer League was a learning tool. It was a learning tool. It was an experimental tool. It was not about winning games, right? How many of you guys felt bad for losing these games? I didn't. I didn't care at all that we lost all these games. Like, we could have lost every game. I don't care. I saw so much positive growth from Devin Vassell. From Tre Jones is showing that he's ready to compete. Tre Jones is ready to compete. So that's great, right? So we're seeing what Tre Jones can do when the ball is in his hands. We're seeing what Devin Vassell can do off ball and his scoring ability, and that he can hit that mid-range jumper. He can work pick and rolls. Yes, he can still shoot threes. That's fine. But he has a lot more in his bag. I think last year was a little glimpse, a little foreshadowing of that. But Devin Vassell is, to me, like a young Ray Allen. I don't know if you guys remember Seattle Supersonics Ray Allen or Milwaukee Bucks Ray Allen, but Devin Vassell has a lot of that in him, man. He can get his shot off from pretty much about anywhere. And so it's just about how we use him and how we utilize his scoring ability next season, because his defense, and Devin Vassell's defense, has been top notch since the get-go. Right. So, Joshua Primo, finishing with him, he is going to be a cliche. He is going. I'm sorry, Joshua Primo. You're going to be a cliche. You're going to be a cliche on how good you are and how the Spurs did it again and how they found probably the best player in the draft. They found him at 12 and they developed him over 2-3 years. And now he's taking over the league. And he's like, Joshua Primo is going to be that guy. I feel really comfortable saying that, man. I said, when we drafted Kawhi, I knew then too. I knew as soon as we drafted this kid what he was going to bring to the table. His first year with the team, I saw shades of Kobe, shades of Jordan in Kawhi's game. His first year, right, when we weren't even really letting him do that yet. But he showed glimpses of it, and then the Spurs developed it over the years, and then we built around that, right? So that's what we're gonna do, I think, with Joshua Primo, man. He's that good, guys. He's 18 years old and he's that good. I understand. I think all Spurs Nation is behind Primo right now. So he's again just showing us amazing. He's showing us that he still has a lot to grow. Defense is going to take some time, but the thing about the summer league for rookies, defense isn't easy. And if I was gonna be honest with you, I was impressed with his defense. He had a couple errors here and there, but overall, Joshua Primo was here for it and was not bad. He was not bad on either side of the floor. Joe Wieskamp is going to need more work, I think, than I initially thought. I think he's going to take some adjusting, but that's fine. He can have a year or two in Austin to get a feel for the league and how he's going to get his shot off. Because once he figures out how to get his shot off, Joe Wieskamp is going to be hopefully a good player for us for a while. Yeah, so I mean, those are just kind of my takes. It was good to see these guys play. I can't wait to get training camp open and all that stuff. So we can see them mix all their skills and everything with the main group, right? Because that's what they're going to have to do. They're going to have to try to contribute to the main group with their development, right? So do we see Tre Jones a little bit more? I hope so. I don't want to see Tre Jones in the G League. I don't. I think he can battle for minutes. If he gets minutes, that's up to him and how it goes in training camp and in practice. But he showed a lot of growth. Devin Vassell, I hope, gets at least like 12 shots a game straight up. I hope he gets about 12 to 15 shots a game. And Joshua Primo, I don't want to say doesn't need Austin, because he does. He needs Austin. He needs the reps. You can tell now that he needs reps. But is he good enough to play in the league? I think so. I think he's good enough. I think he showed us that we can't count him out because of his age or because of whatever. I mean, he's huge, man. He's like a 6'6" dude. He's bigger than most guys out there. He looks young, like I said. He has a baby face, but man, that's a prototypical two guard in the modern NBA, and he's showing that he has the touch, the confidence, the swagger, the poise. He doesn't get too high or too low. We're seeing him hit tough shots and just walk away like if that's what he does, like if he does that all the time, right? We're not seeing him get too pumped and whatever. And when he messes up on defense, he takes his licks, right? So Joshua Primo has the mindset already of a pro. He has the mindset of a pro at 18 years old. And he has the shooting touch of a pro already at 18 years old. His body is not too far off from that either. But just because he is a rookie, the Spurs are going to, set him on a plan to develop his weaknesses, whatever those are, whatever the staff evaluates him and evaluates his weaknesses that need improvement to be this year. So it's a process. It's not going to happen over 1 year, but I would like to see Joshua Primo get some reps for the Spurs this year, and I would think he does. I wouldn't put it past the Spurs to let him play here and there. A little less than Devin Vassell did his rookie year, because Devin Vassell didn't play in Austin because there was really no Austin to send him to, right? This year, I don't know. I assume that there is going to be a G League season, so there will be opportunity for Primo to get some tick there. But is he good enough? I think Devin Vassell made it known in that preseason game that he's good, that he's ready to compete. He's ready to play, right? Not to start or not to take anyone's minutes, but hey, he throw him in the mix. And I think Joshua Primo is that good too, right? I think he's that good also. So thank you guys for hanging out, man. It was a great summer league experience. Shout out to the coaching staff over there in Vegas for holding it down and doing a great job as far as I'm concerned. I'm not worried about the wins or the losses. The coaching staff did an amazing job of getting these guys in positions to be successful and to grow and to give these no name guys opportunity to play. It was fun seeing the squad out there, right? So go Spurs, go, guys. I hope you're having a great day. Last thing before I do go is to go ahead and subscribe to this channel if you haven't subscribed to it yet. Hit that like button, smash Go Spurs Go when you do. Hit the notification bell so you get notified when we go live or when we drop new content. Leave a comment. It can be as simple as GSG. That's Go Spurs Go. Shout out to everybody in the chat room. Thank you guys so much in the chat for hanging out with me as I go live. Again, if you want to talk and get your question on screen, hang out with us on Sunday. All right. Thank you for subscribing, Diana Baskin. Thank you to my new subscribers here. Thank you, Sean Kelly, for the tip. Thank you for everybody for hanging out. Cody Castillo, It Kills, Fat Boy. What's going on, everybody? Bryant Strickland, first one in the house to drop a comment. See you, sir. Aaron L., what's going on? Nicholas Bennett. Thank you, everyone. Spike Rashi. Hope I didn't miss anyone. Josue S., right? So thank you guys for hanging out. Go Spurs Go. It Div Op. I don't know what that is. It Devo P. I don't know. So Go Spurs Go, though. Shout out to the chat for hanging out, man. Thank you guys for supporting the show. All right. Go Spurs Go should be back here on Thursday. Just a few announcements before I go. Thank you guys for 2K subs. I think we're at 2,100 right now, man. It's been amazing. So thank you for subscribing. Just a reminder that the show times are Tuesdays and Thursdays now at 8:30 p.m. Sundays will be the Spurs Q&A with the chat room. So if you want to chat and get your question on screen, go ahead and hang out with us on Thursday. And just to let you guys know that Order on the Court, the channel where we do Spurs post-game reactions to all season long and watch parties, we do it on Order on the Court. That channel is going to be rebranded and relaunched on August 26th. Big announcements coming. It's going to be so much fun. So make sure to subscribe to that channel as well. And stay tuned for more news on that. All right. So go Spurs, go Spurs Nation. Hope you're having an awesome day. Hope you're staying healthy. I know a lot of things are still going on in the world with, COVID and just everything. Right. So I just hope you're having a great day, and hopefully I can distract you a little bit and talk Spurs with you guys. And I hope you enjoyed the film session. Again, this is my film session. We go over defense and mistakes in this film session. It's not a highlight reel, right? Don't log on to this video and think, oh, I'm just going to go see highlights of the Spurs. No, there's other videos for that. You want to get deep analysis. You want to get my take from a coaching point of view, an experienced coaching point of view. Again, coached at the high school level for 5 years, been to 1,000 different camps, heard some of the greatest speakers out there, man, from the pro level, college level, high school level. I love this game, right? Go Spurs, go. It's a beautiful game. I'll catch you guys on the next one.